Patrick Crane. He basically had a nice adventure at Yahoo, was marketing manager for LinkedIn, and is now basically doing something completely different except for being a father. What is your new venture and why are you excited about solar energy?
Sure. Well, my new venture.
This is my phone.
Oh, sorry.
You hold your kid. Yeah.
I'll hold the kid. You hold the mic. My new adventure is now taking social to the solar market. So I'm responsible for spreading solar through social networks and for Sungevity and for Zonline here in the Netherlands, which is our international partner.
So. And that is, why did you go work for somebody who worked for Greenpeace, was arrested in 20 countries, and you were LinkedIn, you were into IPOs, you were into making money, and why are you now working for this solar panel company?
Yeah, well, the solar program is inevitable. It's got to happen, and so I was just unbelievably attracted to that idea that this could not just be a simple product choice, but could be literally a social movement. And so 4 years at LinkedIn helping build that thing, it became just this opportunity to just bring the two together, to try to make sure that everything that helped companies like LinkedIn grow could help solar grow.
And so basically you're going to adapt, you're going to use what you've been building in one industry, you're going to use it for doing something useful.
Yeah, I am going to, and I think that's a very, very easy thing to do actually in the solar movement. We have this are you enjoying yourself? We have this incredible phenomenon in solar where you start rational and you become emotional, and that phenomenon it lends itself beautifully to being social, and people just want this to happen.
The company grew from 60 people to 250 people, and you're installing, 3,000-4,000 houses a year, and it's tripling every year, huh?
That's right, yeah. The 2011 has been a 3x year for us, 3 times growth, and 2012 will be 3 times again. Yeah.
So it's growing tremendously, but it needs to grow about 100 times to be big. You're specifically interested in how to use social. How do you basically, and you also said what percentage of sales comes out of social now?
Right now it's between 5 and 10%, but I think it will grow as more and more people get into the movement. What we're finding, for example, is that students who can't have homes yet love this company and are following more and more and more because they understand the environmental situation and they care about it more than any generation prior. So that's just a tremendous opportunity.
What moments do you use social media? So Facebook and Twitter. How do you basically use it, and what moments of the sales cycle?
So the best moments to use social networks to spread solar is right when you buy, then when you install, and finally when you interconnect. Those 3 moments are big moments for the customer, and they just feel at those moments they just want to go out and tell the world.
You make that easy for them.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to take the friction out of the referral process and make it really, really simple to do. So if you do a great job and make them happy, and then you give them the tools to spread it across social networks, we found this year, for example, that more than 25% of our business came through referrals.
Yeah. So and social media is of course very useful. So how do you practically make that easy for me to share my enthusiasm about your solar product?
You make it so that you can just effortlessly, in the click of a button, say, I love this, look at what I've done, look at what my family and I have now done. You enjoy.
He loves Amsterdam, huh?
He loves Amsterdam. And then what you do is you make it so that any friend who clicks on anything you say on the social web ultimately becomes, you get the recognition for the referral. And that's a really...
And the recognition, is it social or is it a money thing?
Financial. It's definitely social and financial together. In America, there's a financial component, but people just feel great when they get their friends to do it. So that blend is what will do it. And over time, I think financial will matter less and social will matter more.
You don't talk about social pressure, but what do you talk about?
I talk about not peer pressure, but peer pride. Because I think peer pressure will apply later on as everyone gets solar. You kind of be like the last house on the block not to do it. But now I think it's more about peer pride. It's about that early influencer group who are incredibly proud of what they've done, and they want to go tell the world.
And if we look at 5 to 10% sounds like a very small amount, because you have an emotional product. People who do this, they basically want to know how much it costs, but they also want to improve the world, blah, blah, blah. That will change over time, huh? So I think 5 to 10% is still very little.
I think it is very little, but I think that if you forget social networks for a minute and think instead about just the overall idea of one friend referring another, that's going to grow drastically over time. I mean, I think it ultimately could be between 50 to 80%.
Now, One question about the electric car industry. Are you working together with them? Is that industry also at its infancies?
It is, but they have, typically you'll find that for every EV that's on the road, and you know this better than me, there are probably 10 more on order, right, that haven't been built yet. Now, the American manufacturers get this. They're all launching solar programs, and we're in discussions with a number of them.
Then one question about, you went from Yahoo to LinkedIn. What is the difference in change in atmosphere between those two companies?
Between Yahoo to LinkedIn? The difference is really that LinkedIn was such a young company, and it just felt like it could just spread all over the world. There was a massive sense of optimism. There still is a massive sense of optimism and pride that they can connect the world's professionals. And that sort of early feeling of just everything to play for was how it felt.
And Yahoo was already a more established.
Yeah, Yahoo had 500 million people coming to it every month, and so it was just a different culture. It was a giant.
And why did you leave after the IPO?
I just felt like my 4 years were done. I hadn't seen this little man anywhere near enough. Right, you're in the interview now, and so I wanted to take a break, which I managed to take, and then I wanted to do something that I could tell him later on was worthwhile.
Do you like where Papa is working?
Yeah.
Do you like Amsterdam?
Yeah, it's really like New York, but it's really a great town.
Good boy.
You are the best. Thank you.